Hey guys, what is up? It's your girl, Grace Tori, and I'm back with a whole new podcast episode. Whether you are alone or in a relationship this Valentine's Day, I wanted to create a episode that still is relatable and helpful for you. So I thought that I would talk about the relationship that everyone should have, that they should be nurturing, that should be a loving, kind relationship, and that is your relationship with yourself. So happy Valentine's Day, besties. Today we are going to be talking about self-love. I went ahead and looked up all things self-love that we could talk about, got some tips together, did some research, and just found all of the helpful things I could so that you could create a routine or have a self-care night that revolves around love and cherishing yourself and just making yourself feel amazing. So that's what we're going to talk about. Self-love, loving yourself, and everything that is. Before I jump in, don't forget to follow on whatever platform you are currently listening on, as well as follow on Instagram or TikTok. Those links are down below. And share with a bestie who you think should have a little self-care, self-love night as well, and start putting these self-love tactics into their routine. Because besties, if we're not loving ourselves, how the hell are we going to love anybody else? If you don't know what that is, that's from RuPaul. Yes, okay. Thank you. My voice is going in and out because my allergies are bad, so I apologize for that. But of course, I couldn't miss filming an episode, so I'm here anyway. But let's go ahead and jump on in. I'm Grace Tori, and you're listening to That Girl the Podcast. Grab a beverage of choice and settle in, because the new episode is starting now. So we're going to talk about one that's a little bit obvious, but we're starting from the ground up. If you absolutely do not have self-love, you struggle with self-love, we're starting with the basics. You should have self-compassion. You should be compassionate for yourself. You should be understanding towards yourself. Don't beat yourself up if you don't reach a goal. Be understanding of your health, your needs, and where you are currently at, and just be compassionate. Love yourself. Be kind toward yourself. You should be so kind to yourself. I know that sounds obvious, but some people just need to hear it. So if you need permission or you feel like someone has to tell you, this is me telling you and giving you permission to be kind and understanding towards yourself. I promise you, it's not weak or whatever to look at yourself and give yourself grace. We've talked about this 1,001 times. Not my bunnies causing mayhem behind the camera. We've talked about this 1,001 times, but you should have positive affirmations that you say at least once a day. Mine is a mixture of things that I do believe as well as things that I should believe but I struggle with, because it makes the brain easier when you kind of sandwich your things that you struggle with between things that you understand. And then I say them on the car ride to work every morning. So examples are: I am confident, I am loved, I am worthy, I am valued, I am beautiful, I am smart. Those are all great positive affirmations that show love to yourself, remind yourself that you care and that you are unconditionally loving yourself no matter what. Set boundaries with your self-love and your self-care. It's an act of love to set boundaries when someone is overstepping everyone that you have previously set. It's also an act of love to have self-care nights when you could be going out with friends. There are multiple different ways that you could set boundaries. I talk about it quite a lot, but from a general sense, setting boundaries is an act of self-care and self-love. In that same vein, you should also prioritize self-care. So like I said, maybe having a night where you stay in, practice self-care and self-love versus going out. That is super important and helps you prioritize it, because it is important. You can't just neglect yourself for as long as whatever. It's like neglecting your health. Do you eat McDonald's every single day and then feel amazing? I hope that you don't eat McDonald's every day. I know that you don't feel amazing if you eat McDonald's every day. And it's kind of the same thing if you tell yourself that you are not worthy, that you're not good enough, XYZ, every single day, you're not going to feel great. You need to have healthy things in place for yourself, healthy routines, healthy affirmations, things that you're doing to keep up with yourself and love yourself. Mindfulness and meditation. This goes along with affirmations for me. I say affirmations when I'm meditating as well as when I'm driving, but having mindfulness, self-awareness is a way that you can show love for yourself, is being aware of yourself and what you're capable of. Make sure that you are being challenged and that people are treating you like you deserve, and having that self-awareness to know when you are the one who's in the wrong versus when someone else is in the wrong. So mindfulness, meditation, self-awareness, all of those things. Celebrate your wins. I talked about this on my Lemon 8 recently. I don't know if you guys are on Lemon 8. If you are, follow me. I think it's either That Girl the Pod or Grace Story. I think it's That Girl the Pod. So follow me on Lemon 8 if you're on there. But I talked about how I have a hard time celebrating my wins because I'm constantly looking at the next thing I want to achieve. Celebrating your wins is important. If you don't celebrate your wins, then you're gonna feel like you don't ever achieve anything. I feel that way a lot because I don't celebrate my wins. And from the outside, I am a very, very successful person for my age. Like, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I do have a lot of success in the sense that I have 3 college degrees. I have my own house that I rent with my boyfriend. I have a nice car. Like, I have a job. Those are things that mark a lot of success for someone who is in their early 20s. But from the inside, I never celebrated any of that. I did not for 1 second stop and say, I am so proud of myself. I can't believe I did this. No. As soon as I achieved that, I was already looking towards the next thing. And I don't celebrate little wins. Like, this is kind of like a moment of truth, honestly. I don't celebrate a lot of little wins when it comes to like the podcast or anything. Whereas like when I reach a goal of like a subscriber goal, or, oh, I hit this many listens, or, oh my gosh, this person notice me or whatever that I've been really looking up to as another podcaster. Like, I don't take those moments and celebrate them because I'm constantly looking towards the next thing, and that's bad. That is not a healthy mindset at all. That is not showing yourself love or admiration or any of those things. You need to celebrate your wins no matter how small. Celebrate how far you've come. Even if you just got out of bed that day and that's something you've been really having a hard time doing lately. Love yourself, celebrate yourself, and be proud of yourself for every single step you take. Surround yourself with positivity. This is something I've really been doing. I've been trying to flip the script from an internal standpoint and be more positive, and I've found that it's obviously much more difficult to do that when everyone around me is negative. So I've kind of had to say, hey, I'm trying this new positive thing. Can we talk about something else? Or hey, and I make it about me, because you never want to make it about someone else. You never want to be like, you're being so negative. So I make it about me. I say, you know, I've really been negative lately and I'm really trying to be more positive. So let's talk about something else. Let's talk about something. And I bring up something that is very positive. Like, have you seen this? Have you seen that? And it's something I know is going to steer the conversation towards a positive output. And that's what I go towards because I want to have more positivity in my life. I also limit things like social media, the media in general, consuming things that I know are going to make me negative. Like, when I go on social media, I tend to draw towards the comments on like shorts and reels and all that and look for the drama. Like, I want to see the juicy tea in these comments because it's always there. And then I go down a black hole of people just hating and being negative and fights and all this and that. So I've just decided I'm not going to go on social media anymore if all I'm going to do is look at the drama. Like, why would I spend hours or whatever doing that? So that is something I've been working on lately in ways that I've been limiting myself and setting boundaries so that I can be more positive. Set realistic goals. This has been really hard for me because since I don't celebrate my wins, I either feel like I have a God complex or I have imposter syndrome. So I'm either like, oh yeah, I can literally fly to the moon tomorrow. Like, are you free? Or I'm like, I'm not capable of doing anything. I literally could not sell a glass of lemonade if I was out in the street. Like, I am horrible when it comes to that. I have no balance, no regulation. I'm either 0 or 100. So setting realistic goals has really helped me because I've talked about it before, but self-discipline is the foundation for self-confidence. If you have self-discipline and you meet little goals, then you are going to build your self-confidence and grow to the point that you are able to be confident in yourself and your abilities. So set goals that you know you can reach. Set goals that are realistic. Go a little bit outside of your comfort zone so that you are being challenged and you're not staying in your comfort zone forever. But make sure that you are doing something that's realistic for you. Still a challenge, but realistic, so that you're meeting it and building your self-confidence and self-love and celebrating that win. I talked about having self-compassion, but I think that it's important to remember to also forgive yourself. You need to forgive yourself for the moments that you feel like you reacted in a way you shouldn't have, or you did something that maybe you wouldn't do now. Like, there are so many moments that I look back on and I'm like, I really could have handled that better. But I was young. I was just not who who I am now, and I can't get upset with myself because I just didn't have the knowledge that I do now. You can't look at yourself 10 years later and say, gosh, I wish I would have known now what I know then. I wish I would have done this, because you didn't. You didn't have that knowledge. And you can't penalize yourself for not knowing what you don't know. You don't know what you don't know, and you can only do the best with what you have in that moment. I talked about boundaries, but I also want to talk about the act of making sure that people are in your life that feed your soul. And I want to talk about how it's okay to grow out of friendships. I have grown out of friendships before. I've grown out of relationships before, and it's hard. I know that it kind of happens overnight, like a switch flips a lot of times, and then you'll be hanging out with this friend or this person, and you'll realize that the topics that you talked about, you don't like align with your thoughts or your beliefs or your maturity level anymore. And it's hard. It's really hard to realize that you no longer align with that person, and it's really easy to hate yourself for it, or to feel guilty for it, or to, you know, point fingers, when really it's just outgrowing and changing. And so I think that by having people step out of your life, or stepping back from them and freeing up that space in your life, you are freeing up space for someone who does better align, as well as doing that for the other person. The other person is also now going to have space in their life for someone who better aligns with them to step in. And I know that that hurts to think about someone that you cherish or love, or you have an adoration for, to have someone else in their life in a place that you used to fill. But if they no longer align with you, and you know, you can tell, the best thing that you can do for them and for yourself is to step back and let that new person or that space happen. So that is an act of self-love. You are loving yourself by putting yourself and your needs and who you are first. I really, really liked this one, and that's, if it's not a heck yes, it's a no. I struggle with the plug of indecision. I cannot make decisions. I just can't do it. I get so stressed out. But I like the idea that if it's not absolutely 100% yes, it's a no, because everything that is meant for you is going to be a yes, like an overwhelming yes. Your intuition is going to make you so excited for the things that are meant to be a yes, and you're going to know. Every single time something is meant to happen in my life, I've been so excited. I haven't had a single doubt in my mind that this thing is what I'm meant to be doing. And there are other things in my life that ended up working out that weren't a 100% yes, but I think that they were more of like a fun little side quest than what I'm 100% meant to be doing and the path I'm meant to be going on. Maybe they were even distractions from the 100% yes. And that's not to say that I didn't learn lessons that I'm happy that I learned, but I think that they did delay some things. So I'm really excited to practice this, because it's going to free up time to allow me to love myself better and understand myself better, and help me on my journey to understanding myself, learning lessons, all the things that happen in life. Another important thing to think about is when you love yourself, you kind of limit what you share, because things are sacred to you and yourself. Like, when you are secure and loving yourself, you don't need anybody else's affirmation. Like, you don't need anybody else. What is the word I'm looking for? You don't need anybody else to affirm that what you do, feel, say, any of that is a good decision or the correct thing. And it's okay to ask for advice, but when you love yourself, you kind of limit what you share, because your life is, you look at it through a new lens, and you don't feel like everyone needs to know everything, because you're confident in who you are and what you do, and you're not seeking any validation from anyone because you have it within yourself. So it is an act of self-love to limit what you share and to kind of be more personal about it, because it's your life and it's something that you really, really love and cherish. Make sure that when you are practicing self-love, you are establishing routines. This is a form of love, because you are not shocking your body with all the stress that comes with the chaos of not knowing what's going on. Like, your body can kind of sink into the calmness that comes with routines. Also, you are taking care of yourself if you have a good skincare routine, a hair care routine, all of those different things, a diet. You are, and when I say diet, I mean like a routine of eating healthy food. I'm not telling you to restrict what you eat. I want to make that abundantly clear. I don't use diet as a restrictive word. I use diet as literally the food that you consume from day to day, like what you actually typically eat. That is your diet. okay? So having a healthy one that loves your body's gonna love you back, things like that. You're making routines where you are falling into a path of loving yourself day after day after day. Keep your space clean and tidy. This is a hard one, but I have noticed I have a lot more love and respect for myself when I'm clean. First off, having a clean and tidy space is an act of respecting yourself, those around you, and your space. Second off, I do feel more loved and I do feel more comfortable. I do feel more respected when my house is clean, as well as my space. I just feel better. Set a night routine where you take time to unwind and just allow yourself that space to be calm. Your body, when you are constantly stressed, your body does not like it. It does not want to be in a state of constant stress. And when you don't allow yourself that time at night to unwind, your body is literally so stressed and so tense, and then you're just constantly waking up and jumping up into a new routine. And yeah, you probably have a good morning routine where you allow yourself to meditate and get into the groove of things. I hope that you have a slower morning routine, you're just not jumping into things. But regardless, your body knows that the day is coming. So you need to give yourself that time at night to be like, I'm proud of you. You did this. We did this. And unwind so that you're not in a constant state of stress. Hopefully your life is not stressful to the point that you're like that and you do take breaks. But I know for a lot of people, especially in this day and age, we are in the hustle culture where we are constantly stressed. And so we need to make morning and night routines where we are allowing ourselves time to be calm and unwind. Express gratitude for yourself and others and everything. When you're grateful for everything, you tend to be happier, you tend to be more loving, you tend to be kind. So express gratitude for yourself, for your body, and others. I talked about limiting what you tell people, but it's important to also embrace alone time. I used to be scared of alone time, and I think that was because I was scared of what comes with it. I was scared of the self-doubt. I was scared of the things that creep up and haunt you when you are alone. And I wasn't comfortable with myself. So being comfortable with alone time is an act of learning to be comfortable with yourself and love yourself in that way. You should be comfortable with alone time and you should be secure within yourself. So I thought this was kind of cool and I wanted to run through it with you guys. It's ways to practice self-love based on your love language. So we're going to talk about all the different love languages and then some basic ways to love yourself based on what yours is. So the first one is physical touch. Obviously I feel like it's possibly one of the most obvious ones, is to have a good skincare routine where you feel taken care of, you feel loved, you feel supported. The next one would be, that's another obvious one, is massages. You can give yourself a massage. Obviously you can't give yourself like a back massage unless you have tools to do so, but massaging yourself, I like to massage my legs because I have really bad joints and tendons and things like that from riding my horse for as many years as I have, but I like to do that. It's a way to express gratitude for yourself. Lymphatic drainage massages, my favorite things ever. You can do them on your stomach, you can do them on your face, you can do them anywhere. My stomach and my face are just my two favorite places to do them. That's another act of self-love that just feels amazing and is physical touch. Take a bath is another good one. Dry brush your skin. This isn't just physical touch, but that's a good way to have maintenance on your body. Obviously all maintenance on your body is an act of self-love, but maintenance is also hygiene and good for you. It stimulates my scalp, it helps promote hair growth, it makes it nice and clean. I love it. Schedule a hair or nail appointment. Keep up with hair and nail appointments if that is something that you are financially able to do. Exfoliate, that kind of goes along with dry brush, but yes, exfoliating. Don't do that every day. I don't know. I mean, stick to your own routine and exfoliating. I've heard it's not good to do every single day, but you do you, girl. We all have different bodies. Make sure that you are looking into research for it. Use body oils to moisturize your skin after a shower. I use facial oil on my face. Obviously, it's on my face. It's facial oil. I thoroughly enjoy that. Do some yoga or gentle stretching. That's a great one. And also working out. I feel a lot better when I work out. I know that it's not as like physical touch like as yoga or stretching maybe, but it is a great one that I enjoy. Working out, gentle stretching, all that good stuff. I enjoy it. So next one is quality time. This is my personal love language, so I'm excited for this one. Schedule a date night with yourself. I talked about self-care nights they're kind of my favorite. I have like one night a week where I tell Josh to go play video games or hang out with his friends or something. It's my night and I really cherish them. That's my everything shower night. That's my read a book night. That's my light a candle night. That's my me night. Like, no one talk to me, phone on do not disturb, me night. It is a date night with myself. Go to a cafe and just read a book or do your thing. Explore nature. Love it. Love it. That's a good one. Read a book or watch a TV series if you're into that kind of thing. Journal. That is a good way to take time for yourself, check in with your thoughts, and have that quality time aspect. Talk to yourself. I talk to myself all the time. I don't think it's weird. If you think it's weird, why? Why do you think it's weird? Like, you should love yourself like you love everybody else. And how do you love yourself if you don't communicate with yourself? And there is the act of like thoughts. Obviously thoughts exist for most people, but there's something different about talking to yourself. And if you feel weird, talk to your pets. I talk to my pets all day long. Anytime I'm with them, I'm talking to them. And talking gets it out. Like, if you have things that you need to get off your chest, it's okay to talk to yourself or your pet about it. And I think it's a great practice to have. Meditate. Wake up early to spend time alone before your day starts. I already talked about that a little bit with morning routines. And lastly, get honest with yourself. Tell yourself what you need to hear. This has been really important for me. Pulling myself up by the bootstraps has been something I've had to do so many times. And I think that what's really made the difference for me is when I've been at that breaking point, talking to myself out loud and saying, listen, Grace, you're not going to be a baby. You're not going to quit. You are going to do this. You're going to get up and you're going to make this change and you're going to do that. And just giving myself a speech about how I am worthy, I'm capable, and I can do it, that is so important to me. So definitely make sure that you are being honest with yourself. And if I'm doing something wrong, like I maybe said something I shouldn't have, or I'm acting way I shouldn't have, or I said something to Josh that I shouldn't have, I'll be honest and I'll say, Grace, what the heck are you doing? You need to go apologize. You need to do better. You need to explain where that came from, why you did that, and that it's not going to happen anymore. Like, give yourself the pep talk that you feel like you need, but also be honest with yourself, be strict with yourself, and hold yourself to the standards that you know you're capable of meeting. Next love language is acts of service. Check something off your to-do list. That also goes along with building your self-confidence and self-discipline. Do something your future self will thank you for. Me putting away my dishes or washing my coffee cup the night before instead of doing it in the morning when I have to do that and fill it up with coffee. Declutter or clean your space. We talked about that one. Cook yourself a nourishing meal. I just did that. I cooked myself a healthy meal for dinner. I feel so much better, and I was planning on not doing that. I just got like a reason. I felt like I needed to do it, and I did it, and I feel so much better. Donate to a cause you believe in, again, if you're financially able to do so. Volunteer. You can volunteer with a group of friends. You can volunteer with yourself and do something that's meaningful to you. You can take stuff to Goodwill that doesn't really align with you or what you feel like your style or your vibes are anymore. Lastly, set monthly goals to work towards. Make sure you have goals. Again, realistic goals. Make sure you have goals. The fourth act of self-love is receiving gifts. Hey bestie, I see you. I do have a little bit of receiving gifts in me, so I relate with this one as well. Buy yourself flowers. Enroll in a new class or course. We should always be striving to learn something new, so give yourself the gift of learning about something you are passionate about. Start a DIY project. Make sure you finish them. I have this habit of starting things, not finishing them, and then they're all over my house. So make sure you finish them and don't just make a mess like I do. Splurge on something you've been wanting to get. Don't do it every single day, bestie. Don't even do it every single week unless it's a small thing. But it's okay to buy things for yourself when you've earned them and it's time for something new and you feel like it's something you've wanted. Like, splurge. Spoil yourself. Order takeout. I do this a little too much. Maybe don't spend all your money, but definitely give yourself a little treat. Invest in your business or hobbies. Honestly, invest in yourself, and that's on period. Like, make yourself a better person. Give yourself the ability to succeed. Give yourself the tools to succeed. Give yourself the resources to succeed, and don't take no for an answer when it comes to building a business or building a hobby. Like, some people don't understand, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it. You know, like, I have plenty of business ideas that I tried and maybe it didn't work out in the long run, but I wouldn't have started it if I listened to some of the people around me, because their hobbies aren't my hobbies, their vision isn't my vision, and you know, my future and what I envision my future looking like, as well as my morals and my beliefs and my vibes and my energy and what I'm passionate about, is gonna be so different than like my father, who is like a man who's like in his 50s. Like, obviously his passions are gonna be for something totally different than my 24-year-old girly, silly, lovey passions. So if I say I'm passionate about this, I'm gonna start a business, maybe he may not be like, yeah, that's super popular, you should do that. Like, you know, I'm not saying he's ever said that, it's just an example. Our last love language is words of affirmation. I talked about starting a gratitude journal. Wait, did I? I talked about being grateful. Obviously, being grateful and starting a gratitude journal are kind of in the same vein. It's a good way to be grateful. Write notes for yourself and stick them around your space. We love the sticky notes on the mirror trick. We've all been there. It's so fun, it's so cute, and you see it every time you look in the mirror. Use affirmations, we talked about that. Try a mantra or self-love meditation. I usually have some that I rotate out. So my favorite ones lately have been from AccuTar. There's two that I live by from those books currently. So the first one is Don't Let the Hard Days Win, and the second one is Only You Can Decide What Breaks You, Curse Breaker. Obviously I'm going through some things right now, but those are my two mantras I just repeat whenever things get a little tough for me, so feel free to use them. Set reminders on your phone with affirmations or self-care check-ins. I have 3 that go off a day that just say like, check in, you got this, how are you feeling? And they are my little reminders to check in with myself. You'll get to the point where you don't really need them, but now it's kind of like a routine thing for me. But I really do enjoy them, and I think that having self-care timers on your phone is a great way to take a moment for yourself every single day and make sure you're doing that, even if it's just like a 30-second to be like, how am I doing? Okay, cool, let's do this. Our last and final tip, not only for words of affirmation but for this video, is to tell yourself you love yourself. Obviously, this goes along with affirmations, and this one's probably obvious in general, but you should be telling yourself you love yourself, that you're proud of yourself, that you are amazing, XYZ. So yeah, those are my tips for loving yourself in this season, whether you're in a relationship, whether you're single, whatever it may be. There is plenty of love that you should and could be giving yourself. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Happy Valentine's Day. Give yourself a big hug if you feel like you're needing it, whether that's mentally or physically. I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode, you found it helpful, and you got some fun tips and tricks. Go have an awesome self-care night. I upload every single Sunday and Wednesday. Our next episode will be our very last episode of my Glow Up series, so if you're interested in glowing up in all aspects of your life, I have 4 episodes currently up about glowing up, and then the 5th one will be up on Sunday. So yeah, if you're watching this on the Sunday it comes out, happy Valentine's Day. I hope you have a great rest of your night. If you're watching this on any other day, I hope you have a great morning, afternoon, or night, and I will see you in my next podcast episode. Bye guys, love you.